Welcome back, Axe friends. Episode 4 of Axes in the Time of Plague. That's what I should have called it. Okay, quarantine project, how to tune an axe. Going through a couple axes, using different techniques, learning some stuff. Hopefully some of you had the time to enjoy the very long and boring, all right, how to stone sharpen an axe. But that was for the beginner, really trying to break it down for people who have no experience with that, okay? I mean, it's sometimes it's hard to find information for people who don't have a lot of experience, and they can't ask questions through videos. So just trying to help some people out. I was just reading the other day that Isaac Newton, during the Great Plague of London, 1665, retreats to the country and invents calculus, hiding out from the plague. And I'm in here doing axe videos, so that's where I rate. Okay, what are you gonna do? Whatever. All right. But today we're gonna work on our Wetterling's hatchet. Okay, we're working on the big Grand Force Felon axe. Now we're just gonna work on the hatchet, and we're gonna use files and pucks today to address the edge. So a little different techniques, a little different format for that. But this fun little hatchet of mine needs a new profile. I don't like the way it is, so we're gonna put a little more aggressive, a little more smoother convex profile on it, and I'll show you some ways that can be done. One thing I want to emphasize are many, many ways to do all of this that we're doing, right? There's so many ways. There's really no right or wrong way. There is no authority of axe maintenance in the world, right? Socrates would have a field day going to one of our axe meetups, right? What is beautiful? What is good? He tears all up because we don't have the same answer to anything. But that's just how it is. That's just how it is. And that's okay. That's part of the beauty of craft. Many ways to get the same result, all right? So let's check out this little hatchet. So for this video, I wanted to brush up on my file knowledge a little bit, make sure I got all the terminology correct, and I came upon this amazing 1928 version of a book about files called File Philosophy. Get the play on words, philosophy with file. Very clever. That's very clever. That's not very contemporary in style. No, it's really cool. Put out by Nicholson File Company, one of the great file makers, one of the great American file makers, still making files today, right? I mean, a lot of files you can buy today at Nicholson Files. Okay, so a lot of great knowledge here. It has since been updated, or maybe it's not right to say this pamphlet's been updated, but Nicholson does have a contemporary guide to filing. I will post links to both these documents below, but the contrast between the old and the new document, there's a lot of interesting stuff there, all right? The old book really is about file philosophy. It's got lots of opinions and things. It's got some lost terminologies like a float file. A float. The coarser grades of single-cut files are not infrequently called floats when cut for the plumber's use or for use upon soft metals or wood. A float file. There also seem to be some controversies in the old-timey file community, okay? Convexity being one. It says right here, undoubtedly few, even of the old filers, have given the subject of convexity as it bears upon broad surface filing the thought it is entitled to. Those old filers, I tell you, get with the times, Gramps. They also seem to have more grades of the coarseness of a file, or its cut, all right? Today, you kind of only find 3 different coarsenesses, or cuts to a file, right? But back in the day, they had a bunch. They had rough, coarse, bastard, second cut, smooth, and dead smooth. I really want a vintage dead smooth file, but I would rename them. I would rename it rough, coarse, bastard, second cut, sexy, and dead sexy. That would be the cuts for the Sisyphus brand of files for sure. So like I said, I'll put links to these documents in the video description below. Check them out. It's worth a read. It's worth a read. But for our project today, what you're going to need is at least one flat or mill file, okay? Flat or mill file. And I'm still, comment below, you machinists, you fine machinists. What is the difference between a mill file and a flat file? This seems to be one of those things oh, no, the difference is this, the difference is that. Yeah, it's a different guy. No, the difference is this. Yeah, it's another guy. Well, there's no difference, right? It's one of those things. Everybody thinks they know the difference. Comment below on what you think the difference between a mill file and a flat file is. See, I was under the impression at one time that a mill file was like a shape. Like these would be mill files, okay? They could be tapered or untapered. That's fine. Basically, this type of file is mill file. And these would not be. But kind of reading those old books, maybe back in the day, a mill file was a use. Like it was a purpose. So all kinds of shapes and sizes could be mill files. They just would be further referred to as something different, like a half round file, right? Or a sword or trapezoidal file. That's what you'd call them. You'd call these flat files. I don't know. What's the truth? Well, whatever it is, this is my current preferred file set. I got three that I really like. I'm gonna like file sharpener and axe. I got three. You don't need three. Basically, all you need is one. Okay, a bastard cut flat file or mill file. Okay, we're gonna work that out in the comments below. But I use three because just like sharpening stones or sandpaper, there are different coarseness, right? And it's just, yeah, there's all these grades of coarseness, and that can speed up your job, is what I'm saying here. So I do like to start filing with or a coarse. This would probably be a bastard cut double cut file. So it's a double cut because it goes both ways. I don't know how much to, explain all that, but this is a double cut file. So it's going to cut rougher and quicker than a single cut file. But rougher, quicker work looks different. Okay, you're going to at some point want to smooth out your filing work. You're going to want that to be smoother and more fine. And there's files for that purpose too. But this is an 8-inch double cut file. I think it's got to be bastard cut on that, okay? And it just rips up metal really quick. There's a huge difference I have found in the quality of files. There really are. And you go out there, it's just like sharpening. It's like anything else. You can get a $6 file, you can get a $30 file. And you're wondering, like, is there really a difference? I was skeptical at first until I tried a bunch of $6 files. And then I kind of upgraded to the closer to $30 files. And I'll tell you that the $30 files are there for a reason, okay? They're more expensive for a reason. The manufacturing process are better. The cuts on the teeth it's just better. They wear better. They cut and bite into the metal better. They do, okay? I'm not an expert on the metallurgy of the whole thing, but you get what you pay for with files like anything else. Nevertheless, don't get wrapped around the axle on that. Just, if you got a file, we're going to be able to do it. You're going to be fine, okay? So if I start with this, I do most of the work with this 10-inch flat file, okay? Made by a company here locally in my hometown called Sun Valley Ski Tools. It's actually a ski racing file marketed to ski racers, made in Austria. Really, really, really nice. I have used this on many, many axes so far. It still bites right away, bites smooth, responds to pressure well. Like, you put a little more pressure on, it digs in nice. It's going to win that battle. Ease up on the pressure, can get nice and smooth. This is all you would really need, is a nice big file. All right, and handles are wonderful. You can get these on Amazon. You can get them at flea markets. It's great to put a handle on the tang of a file. It really improves the experience. And then I do kind of have like the finishing work, all right? One of the smooth or sexy dead sexies. This has got to be up there dead sexy. This is way, way thinner, way finer cut than bastard, all right? And this is a German file, half round file. But one of the things, I was reading about that in the old philosophy book, the file philosophy, Nicholson file philosophy book, right? They were going on about this convexity. How amazing that was. As if, I don't know, there was some controversy in the time, like people don't understand how amazing convex files can be. Their point was that a convex surface, all right, really narrows and focuses the point of contact of your filing on the metal, okay? So as you get more experience and feel for it, you can go from something that's very flat and is working on a lot more surface area to something that's a lot more focused on certain. That's what a convex edge can do for you. And so you can really smooth out and get a really clean, smooth edge. It doesn't look as much like a file sharpened axe by using these higher cuts, right? The dead sexies. And we're also going to finish off our job today with axe pucks. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about axe pucks, and I've got 3 here. I've got more, but some are in a different location. These are 3 pucks that are available today. This one right here, this is the world famous Alansky axe puck, right? The cheap Amazon add-on. Anyone can get it. Almost everyone has an axe, probably bought it at one point. This is a little more expensive axe puck called the Arctic Fox. It's made by Baronix Axe Company, which you should really check out. That is a small business. And there ain't many small businesses in the world actually that come up with their own sharpening stones, okay? Baronix Axe Company is one, and this is their puck, which is an outstanding value that we'll discuss. And you can get really, really, really nice pucks. You can go all the way up. This is one made by a Swedish company, Holtzbrook, all right? Pretty premium puck, okay? We'll discuss all these differences a little bit more when we get to the final sharpening and finishing off our axe. All right, well, you just got to figure out one way or another to get your axe solid in a vise or on the edge of a table, you know, using a clamp or something, just as long as it's nice and solid and you're able to apply the pressure of the file, okay? Tons and tons of videos out there about how to file and whatnot. There's kind of 2 basic techniques. There's push filing, where you're going to push the file, okay, towards the axe like this. And there's draw filing, which for an axe or a hatchet is this kind of thing, okay? You know, either you're resting the file on your finger, or you can put it right on the axe itself, and you actually draw the file across the metal that way. I don't want to mess anything up on this really nice original paint, okay? So we're going to push file. We're going to push file this guy. All right, so I'm going to start filing with my double cut file. All right, it's very hard. And see, it's biting right away with really medium pressure, okay? About the only way I think you can really screw up file sharpening something is by ruining your file by applying maybe too much pressure, okay? Cheaper files, I've noticed, like, you just want to apply enough pressure that it bites. So that's what's happening here. See, the metal's coming off, it's biting, all right? The metal's giving way to the little teeth in the thing. All right, and so I'll do this, and I'll be a little rough on my double cut, just to speed this up, you know, and go fast. And in this particular case, it's pretty clear what I'm trying to do. I don't care really what the edge angle is going to be when all this is done. It's going to be lower than it is now. We're just gonna smooth out that mega micro bevel that just wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. Okay, so now we're just gonna put a convex edge on there. There you go. It's this easy. This is it. Some people will change directions. They really like to change directions, and you can get that's a good idea. I think it can speed up in some ways, you know, the pace in which you're removing metal is by going at it in a different direction. It can also reveal, you know, your scratch marks better by changing direction. And it can preserve the life of your file in some ways. Okay, this is just a double cut file. They're not too expensive. You know, I kind of just stay going the same way. But look at that. Filings, filings, filings. So even just after a minute of filing, you can see how far we're going and how that the bevel that was there is disappearing. And if there's really only one tip I would give. I have had so much more success with file sharpening and really axe sharpening in general, including stones and pucks, if you work by basically just leaving the edge to the end. The edge itself, the very thing at the end, you know, and if you watch the stone sharpening video, that last 1 to 1.5 millimeters where sharp happens, leave that part of the project to the very end. Work on everything else first, okay? That's what actually is the key to bringing down edge angles and angle geometries, is by working on the metal behind the edge first and bringing all that down. And then it's kind of magical. If you've just left everything to the very end and you've worked on the whole bevel behind the edge first, all you have to do is kind of tilt up your edge, tilt up your file a little bit. You just tilt up that file a little bit. That edge comes very quickly. It just very quickly it comes out.
Now buckle this! Ludicrous speed! Go!
All right, only about 3 minutes. That's all that took, okay, with the double cut. And I think I'm going to switch over to my single cut file, all right, because I've basically worked out what the bevel's going to look like now, okay? Now, you'll see lots of shapes of bevels, okay? You know, you can get bevels that are like actually banana shaped, like they go like a banana all the way around in there. And it's pretty cool. Like, you know, there's all kinds of bevel shapes. My experience is a lot of that has to do with actually the shape of the cheeks in this dimension, okay? Like, just what is that metal like sort of lends itself to certain looks on the bevels or not. If these cheeks were really, really thin, okay, if they're really thin together, and I started to file sharpen, it would be extremely difficult to get this clean transition line, okay? If this is fairly thick, this is a pretty thick, sloping, rounded, convex cheek, okay? So it's allowing me to really, without too much effort, just kind of do this half moon or half banana looking thing. It's lending itself to it. It's not like, oh, that's some special technique. It's kind of coming out of the metal as it is, okay? And if the shapes were different, you'd get different results. Okay, that didn't take too long at all. So that's where we've got with just those two files, both a bastard cut file. But you can tell, look how smaller and smoother the scratches are. All right, the scratch pattern is there. And that's the difference between, if you look back at the double cut, you know, there's a much deeper scratch pattern there. And this single cut, it's a little more smooth. And we could keep going. That's where you get into the smooth and these really smooth files. You could keep going with that. Get the dead sexies out. Okay, so we're going to even this out a little. I'm going to do a little bit of work to even this across to just make this better. Okay, I'm going to do that. And then we're going to get our pucks out. We're going to finish this out. I'm going to show you a cool trick that pucks are great for. Okay, so this is the harshest light possible to reveal the truth, you know, from the naked eye, honestly. But the naked eye, honestly, it looks good looking edge. It looks nice, okay? But you get really up close and you see how rough really this finish is. It feels great. It feels smooth. It feels nice. But yeah, no, there are little hills and little valleys, you know, and the scratch pattern, that's, I don't know, that's about like 24 grit, 36 grit sandpaper is what that is, okay? Now, that'll get really clogged up. It does, you know, gritty edges, they pick up a lot of sap. They do. Stuff gets in those little bottoms, and it gets a little sticky. They get dirty, okay? So smoother edges are way easier to clean, okay? They really are. So we want to take this further, okay? But you can see, kind of, you know, this is what you get from a bastard cut, you know, big file. And either you want to move on to smoother files, or you switch over to stones at this point. This is a great place to switch over to stones, and we're going to use pucks. And what is the goal, Axe friends? What is the goal? To build a burr. What is the spirit of the file? To build a burr. All right, really, the strategy in all sharpening. This is a good way to always hit it right, okay? With skill, with time, with experience. You know, maybe you don't have to build up huge burrs. You know, you're actually working on that edge. You do a great job faster. Yes, that comes with skill. It's true. But as a solid rule, I'm telling you, this is a solid strategy. In 100 edges, you shall not be defeated. If you just build up a burr, from heel to toe on the whole thing, and then do it on the other side and just keep working up on higher grits. You cannot be defeated. So a puck is just a sharpening stone. That's all it is. It's a sharpening stone. It is round for ergonomics. It is round because it is really quite a natural feel, okay, to work on an axe, holding in your hand like this, all right, and then taking the stone to the edge, work on it like this in circular motion. It's very natural. And so pucks are shaped in that, to be able to do that. It's great in the field. It's very lightweight. It's very compact. You can fit one anywhere. Okay. And it's just like episode 3. Go watch that video. It's the same stuff. You're just doing it with a different shaped stone. So there's no secret to it. There's no difference really in what you're doing. It's about the feel for the edge. It's about, kind of confidence in working on those angles and going side to side, going coarse to fine. Okay, so most pucks have 2 sides just for that purpose. They have a coarse side and a fine side. This is the Lansky puck. Okay, this is a cheaper version. And I'll be very honest, I cannot recommend that puck really to anybody, including the beginner. Just don't waste your time on that. Okay. This is a much better tool, even though it's more expensive. This is the Arctic Fox puck I mentioned from Baronix Axe Company. It's a great axe puck, okay? It really is. It's got a fine and a coarse side. And this puck, the type of abrasive and the type of adhesive, right, that keeps it all together, is really good for axes, for the softer modular steel of axes, and you can use more pressure with it. That's one thing I like about this. You can actually use pressure, and round puck stones are great for that. It's easier to use more pressure in your grinding than a bench stone, right? A bench stone's big, and these are small. You can really get up in there. That will speed your project up a lot. It really can. It does not seem to damage the puck at all. I use this stone with a lot more pressure, just actual pressure on the metal. That does speed it up. It's a good deal. And that's what we're going to do right now. I'm going to show you a trick. It's a bit awkward with the angles and the lighting in here. Hopefully this is going to work good. All right, we're going to dive right into it. And like I said, you can use more pressure with the Arctic Fox puck. That'll speed things up. The only thing we're doing, what are we doing here? We're basically polishing. We're basically just polishing metal. We're just physically rubbing down all of these inconsistencies, all right? The ridges from the files, the changes in direction. It's not perfectly concave. It's not perfectly rounded. There's little ridges in there, okay? Stones are fantastic for smoothing all that out. They're going to take all the high spots off, and that's all you're doing, really, with this action, is you're rubbing down metal, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the coarse side, and what I'm doing right now is I'm actually rubbing and I'm grinding at the very back of this bevel I just filed, just the back. That's where I'm at. I'm trying to straighten, even, and polish the transition area with the coarse side of the stone, okay? Just going to even that out a little bit. And because of the way this bevel's shaped, this nice little hatchet, we got a pretty good looking bevel going here, okay? So we're going to make it smooth. I'm doing all this just on the back. I'm not even working up yet into the anywhere near the edge. So now what I'm doing is I'm moving forward, getting closer to the edge, but we're not on the edge, okay? And I'm going all the way, the full length of the bevel, to start to smooth out more all those little filing inconsistencies I had. All right, all those little ridges and valleys, not just from the scratch marks, but actually from the angle of my file. I tried to show those to you, but those are easily addressed and best addressed, unless you want to keep going with a smooth file, by a stone. Okay, so that's a lot more consistent. Just that right there. See, and then parts of there, I'm going to do some more work right here on this edge. But you can see it's just a lot more even, a lot more consistent now. They're just 5 minutes with the coarse side of the stone and moderate pressure. Okay, now it's a lot smoother. It's just smoother. Okay, they're still scratchy. You can see all scratches going in all kinds of directions, but that's a lot smoother. And we've hardly taken the puck actually to the edge. Not on the coarse grit. I just didn't do much with the edge at all. The burr is there. Okay, it's going to come out. Don't worry, you're going to get a great edge. Okay, now there is another technique. Okay. And this is cool. It's totally legit when using a puck to sharpen your axe to kind of just go back and forth, okay? You see me using a circular motion. That's probably what most people do. It's cool. You can get all the way out on the edge, make a burr with a circular motion. But it's totally legit. It's kind of an old-timey technique to just kind of play on the edge, going back and forth. And even doing motions like this, kind of a honing motion, it's doing the same thing. People will do that, and that's cool. If you like to do that, okay? That's one thing, with bench stones I don't ever do, but you can sharpen your edge just like this. You right out in there. It's all about the feel. See, that's doing that, okay? Now, in practicing that one day, I sort of went crazy. And I'm going to show you a trick now. This is what I love about the Arctic Fox. Get this fine side. All right. See this? See how rough it is? Watch this. How long was that? How long did that take? Not very long. I'll look it up. We get in a very nice, very even polish very quickly by simply going back and forth with the fine side of that puck. All right? That's a good deal. Use pressure. Grind down on that. Get that fine side going. You will smooth out metal so fast. It's really pretty cool. All right, don't do this on the edge. Use this high pressure on the edge. And I suppose you should rotate your stone around a little bit to keep it flat and lapped. But look at that. That is amazing. Okay, now I'm just going to start to lean out a little bit onto the edge. Like I'm actually going to the edge. You can watch the scratches change. You can watch the metal change. So I'm right out on the edge, going back and forth. Woo. Okay. It looks better live. Let's see if I can zoom in. Yeah, look how smooth that is. That is really smooth. Very, very fast. Now that looks good just as is, but as added bonus, check it out. If you have a buffing wheel, sisal wheel, put a little black compound on that. Oh man. Hey, ho, ho, boring edges got to go. Hey, that's not bad. That's a nice mirror polish, mirror-ish, right? Yes, mirror-ish, okay, but certainly that's pretty good. And it only took about 20 minutes. That's only 20 minutes from filing to finishing. It's about 20 minutes aside. That's not bad. That's not bad without a whole bunch of power tools. Okay, the sisal wheel, the buffing wheel at the end, okay, that really helps. That really does help a lot getting a nice, smooth, more mirror-like finish, okay? But you can get those wheels and, a bore for the wheel that could work on like a hand drill or something, any kind of buffer you got. That's a pretty good investment. You don't have to have a full-on polishing wheel to get pretty great finishes. All right, so not a bad looking axe. Brought it down. This is going to be way more functional, I think, for my needs, for my little hatchet, and it looks great. All right, so thanks for watching, axe friends. Hope you learned something. Trying to share little tricks. Share your tricks below. There's lots of knowledge out there, and it's great. A lot of people read comments for tips. They do. They like to see discussion and find out how other people do it. I do that as well. So share your tips with the axe world, and we'll see you next time.